Okay, lads, I'm just waiting for a minute, just waiting for a couple of people to come on. Richard Wyatt, what's best? Hang on, I gotta just waiting for a minute. Just waiting for Richard Wyatt, what's best size pellet on a method feeder? Well, okay, I fished a method feeder, I have done, but to be honest, you're better off later on this evening, 6:30, when Andy May is on you. Now Andy is a real pro at commercials, and he could probably answer that. Personally, well, you use 2mm, obviously with a bit of ground bait in the method feeder, and possibly 4s on the hook. That's what I would do. But as I say, speak to Andy. He's the one to probably ask that question, and he'll be later on tonight. So Andy May, great angler, great all-rounder, great commercial angler. Him and his mate, you've probably seen them both on the videos lately, especially on this mat fishing. Yeah. Okay. All right then. Well, we've got a few on now. So anyway, thanks for joining me this afternoon. I'm still in lockdown in Wales, unfortunately. We can go up to 5 miles. From our home, but that doesn't give me much option, because just across the road I've got the river here, but I can't fish that till the 16th. Any other commercials are probably more than 5 miles away, so which is a pity really, because Eastock, my favourite, where I normally go and catch a few fish. For those guys who follow me on my live vlog, that's where a couple of lads have been going there, and I was half tempted to go last weekend, but unfortunately the police, if they stop you, it's a £60 fine, and if you caught the second time, I think it doubles. So anyway, I'd rather be safe than sorry, and not afford the the money, 120 quid. Right, let's have a look then. All right, we've got a few coming on. David, Mark, Paul, Peter, yeah, okay, Clive Branson, nice to see you. Alan, Si, Stephen Thomas, Peter, Eric. Anyway, nice to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. As I say, these lockdowns are a bit difficult for some of us. It's nearly 11, 12 weeks now, I think, for me, and it is getting a bit frustrating, because there's not much you can do except, as I say, maybe do a little bit with the fishing tackle, and but as I say, these match fishing groups have been keeping us going. So I'm glad that and this is one of the big things. I want to give a big shout out to all the guys who've been coming on here. As I said, Bob Nudd was the one who first started it, but I want to give a big shout now to the last week's guest, Colin Perry. I've been on here 3 times now, and the guys who don't know Colin, he's got a fabulous record. I mean, I think he only ever fished for England once in sort of a home international in Ireland, but he's rubbed shoulders with all the top anglers, and and his record is phenomenal. I mean, on the Warwickshire Avon, he went there first time, and he managed to get in the prizes, and I think he's won the festival 3 times now, but that was fantastic. And as I say, thank you, Colin. Hope to have you on here again soon, especially with if you're still in lockdown, and let's hope you sorted out your iPad this time, because your memory was going all the time, and I know you kept getting cut off and you had to come back on. So anyway, hope that's sorted now. Also, a nice big thanks to Howard Kay, who was on here. Now, Howard Kay, those who don't know, I know Howard by fishing Evesham, and I got to know him from up Evesham. He was a regular, and he liked Evesham so much, he'd done what I'd done many years ago. He actually moved to Evesham and settled down, and he's opened up a tackle shop there, and he's doing quite well. Anyway, he also apparently recently he's taken on the youth England team manager's job, the under-20s, And if you watched his vlog, you'll see that he's mentioned if anyone knows any youngsters who would like to come on or like to participate, get hold of him. But as I say, and he's very optimistic that the matches might be run again at Evesham this year, so that's good. Okay, let's have a look who's coming on now. Oh, Michael from Bangkok. Hiya, Michael. Shane Neville, Paul Barnes, Jeff Britton, Shane Lee, Paul Jackson, Lee, Jem Turner, Jim Meaton. Good afternoon, Jeff. Alan, Chad Bourne, Matt Hodgkin. Anyway, nice to see you all coming on. As I say, you can always rerun this later. Anyway, if you decide to, you got things to do. But this is just another quick update, as I said, because of the lockdown situation, and a little bit of what's happening on the group. As I said, it's really been growing, and I think we got 21,586 members now, which is fabulous, and that's that's been about 3 years now. So I think we've had 79 new members just on the weekend. I do block a couple, by the way, and I do stop them, especially if they got bad language and they just cause aggros. I had some troll on you last week, messaged me personally trying to find out why I banned him. In the end, unfortunately, I had to block him, but there you are. Hiya, Timothy Ford says hi. Yeah, so anyway, as I said, a big shout out to all the lads who I had on last week. A good one was, I don't know if you actually saw it, was with Steve, Heath and Doug Forshaw. I mean, I don't know who, if anyone actually know them, but they're especially Doug. I know Doug fishing the River Wye, and when I went fishing the Thames Championships, he was there, and Doug's a nice guy. He's one of them laughable chaps that, he hasn't got a bad word to say about anyone. He always sees the funny side of things. So I thought it'd be great to, he was a bit apprehensive coming on. He didn't know what to say. So Steve, his mate, Steve Heath, come on together, and they had a good old laugh. They were drinking the whiskey, answering questions, talking about some things that have happened to them over on the riverbank over the years. The only trouble is, I did say to Steve, I said, look, you got an hour on you, and he did. He stuck to his word, and it was an hour. But if it's going well, and as I said, they can just keep going. But anyway, thanks, Steve, and thanks, Doug. That was great. Stephen Edwards, good afternoon, Clive. I'll be using the fish meal. Oh, all right. You're going to use the fish meal ground bait you had this week. Great, well done. Let me know how you get on. So anyway, another one, of course, was Tom Pickering. Now, Tom, I haven't spoken to Tom for 20 odd years, and Tom and I go way back, because he was quite young in the squad when he joined England, and I can remember Tom, and when I had a silver medal and then I had the gold, I mean, Tom was just knocking on the door then. Of course, 1989, when the Welsh team won, and England actually second, and Tom actually won his gold medal that year. But of course, Tom and I got fond memories, because we always used to have a chat. Same as Bob and I'd always having a little chat, and I tried to glean as much information. Of course, you can imagine the England team, they got this wealth of information between them all, and I used to eavesdrop on the side, try to pick their brains, and in the evening. And of course, that's why I got friendly with Kevin Ashurst and all the other lads. As I say, they're all legends, and anyway, so it was great. Big thanks to Tom, for him coming on. That was great, as I say, I've got some more guests coming on this week, and I'll go through them in a minute. But I just want to pick up a little bit with Tom, because he said I was on an end peg when I was runner-up. In fact, I wasn't on an end peg. I was about 3 from the end. But I suppose it looked like an end peg, because I had a huge audience behind me, when I was catching. But I want to tell you a little bit, if I can, about that, because 1986, it was time in my life which got great fond memories, and it was a year that England, unfortunately, they didn't do much good. It was on a split venue. It was on the the River Rhine near Strasbourg, and that was the team event. That was on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, that was on a canal, also in Strasbourg, but that was in the city centre, more or less. And of course, in them days, you had to come in the top 4 of your section to qualify for a chance to actually go on and win, or to enter the individual the second day. Well, I was fortunate enough that I actually, on the first day, had a great match. For people who have been following my autobiography, I talk about the time that we had a very lean start in the World Championships in the Welsh team from 1981, when we, as I said, we had that bronze medal, and then for a few years, 4 or 5 years, we didn't do a thing. Couldn't get to grips with it, and then it all seemed to come together on the River Rhine, only because it was. If you can imagine the River Wye, or the Trent maybe in some places, if you could look at that and maybe picture that 3 times bigger and deeper and 3 times as fast, then you'll understand, you'll have an idea what we had to do on that venue, how we had to come up with some ideas. And we came up with an idea which on the Rhine, on that river, which as I said, it helped me. I think I was top weight on the first day. If not, I was second best weight. I know that, but I did qualify for the individual the following day. And I tell you what it was. This river was so fast that it was flowing through, and it was because of they had turbines, that sort of sucked and drew the water. 1 minute it would be pelting through so fast. Next minute it'd stop, almost stop. And we found that the fish, even though it stopped, the fish would stop feeding for some reason. It was they still wanted it moving. So anyway, I come up with an idea, and I use what we call a split Olivet method. And anyway, the split Olivet method basically was the float overshotted slightly, well, not slightly overshot, but shotted well down in the water, so that you can slightly hold it against the flow. And of course, when the flow stopped, then all of a sudden the float would stop motionless. So quickly, with the split Olivet, what you do is take the one half and you move it right up the line under the float. So you'd leave that small Olivet under the water, and that would catch a little bit of flow, which would make the water slightly move. And that's when we caught. I ended up, quite a good weight in 3 hours. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, 17 pound 12 ounces. Yeah, and as I said, that was enough for me to qualify for the final on the next day. Just one little thing as well about the ground baiting. That was something else we had to learn, and that was we used to. I've written articles about it before, and when you make balls in very fast water, the assumption is you throw that ball in, it'll roll out of your swim. So what we done, we made ground bait like pancakes, and we put gravel in it, obviously to get it down. So that meant when it went to the bottom, there's less chance of it sort of rolling away. But there'd be big things like this, there wouldn't be little things. It'd be nice, you'd have to use 2 hands to throw it in. But that was the method that we used, with the ground bait, and as I said, it worked well. The Welsh team became 6th, just out of the main prizes, and of course England, and unfortunately I don't think any of the England lads managed to qualify for the final day. Anyway, come the final day, which was interesting because about the week previously, a friend of mine, Clive Roberts, and I, we both went and had a look at the venue before the competition. And now, if you can imagine looking at, say, the Gloucester Canal, the width of the Gloucester Canal, but not as deep, of course. It was only about 5 or 6 foot, maybe 8 foot in some places. Anyway, and we took a walk along this canal just to have a look what it was like, and there was nobody around. There was a couple of lily pads on the inside, and we were looking to see if we could see any fish. Nobody was fishing. We didn't have a clue what was in there. Anyway, now those who know Clive Roberts will tell you that he's a bit of a Walter Mitty. He says things, and they're just not true. But all in good fun, mind. He comes out with some right crackers, like, you know. But anyway, this time, never forget, he said, "Oh, Clive, I just seen a chub." I said, "Well, where?" Anyway, I went and had a look, you know, swim out from under the lily pads. There wasn't no chub there. I didn't see any chub anyway. And I said, "Oh, he's just pulling my leg again, like you know he does." Anyway, I didn't think much more of that then. Anyway, come the I forgot about that then until the actual final day when I was on when I qualified, as I said, for the individual, and I drew. Tommy is quite right. End pegs in World Championships are such a bonus that if you draw one, you know, you've got a very good chance of getting the frame, if not winning the match. Well, as it happened, there was a Dutch guy, Ludwiger, his name was, and he drew on the end peg. And that was at the other end of the section. Now imagine there's like 120 anglers now because, you know, all the teams, they had at least 4 men fishing for each team. You know, all the qualifiers plus one invited guest from the team. Anyway, I was the only Welsh one that managed to get through, unfortunately, on that day. But anyway, I'm not sure who fished for England that day. I don't know who Dick Clegg picked, but he must have picked someone. And perhaps Bob or somebody should be able to tell me. Anyway, I drew on the other end, and that was about 3 pegs from the end. Not quite the end peg, but 3 pegs from the end. And anyway, the match basically started, and I can remember that, you know, to me it was a pole venue. It was simple as that, you know. I mean, everyone had poles out. Everyone started on the poles. Everyone started bowling a few balls in, and that was it. And anyway, halfway through the match, there was runners. You know, you get runners all watching and telling you what's happening. And anyway, they said the Dutch guy on the end, Ludwiger, had been catching these small roach and things most of the match, and he was like walking away with the match. Nobody was doing any good at all. And then the story come, I heard that one of the lads shout, he said, one of the Scottish lads just caught a chub on a waggler. And I said, never. And it got me thinking back to like the week previously when Clive said he saw that chub. Now, like a fool, I didn't set the waggler up at the time. I didn't have anything. Anyways, I quickly went in my bag and I thought, well, I got to give it a go, because up until then I think I'd had one little fish. Anyway, so I got my rod out, and you probably all know the story about putting wagglers and sticks on winders, where, you know, we learned that from the continental anglers. And anyway, I had a waggler set up on a winder, and I quickly, within seconds, managed to get it up and running and casting out, firing little knobs of ground bait, casters and maggots. And anyway, lo and behold, I started catching little chub. And they, you know, and it was fantastic. And then all of a sudden, you know, like with an hour to go, I got a huge crowd behind me, all willing me on, because, you know, coming from the UK, I was the only one who was doing any good. And anyway, I don't know if anyone remembers the story. I was talking to Tom about it, not Tom, Bob the other week about it. And I was getting pretty close to this Ludwiger, because in the World Championships, they got a board behind you, and they've got they tick down the amount of fish you catch on an hourly basis, and on average you can work out the weight, you know, what each person has. Anyway, this Ludwiger was, I think he had about 3 kilos or something, you know, and as I said, he was walking away with the match until I started catching a chub. Then I started catching a chub, and anyway, it was getting pretty close. They were estimating that I only needed another 1 or 2, and I was going to beat him. Anyway, now in them days, of course, our runners, you know, and our manager, you know, God bless him, old John Mayer, he was a great captain because he was a great organiser, but as far as fishing ability and knowing what was going on, wasn't very good. And this is the time that Dick Clegg actually helped me out, because Dick sat behind me and he said, Clive, he said, you're catching them up. He said, you probably need another 2 fish to beat, you know, to at least beat the Dutch guy on the end. I said, okay. So anyway, what happened? I started to get a bit panicky now, and I think it was about only minutes to go, and I hooked a chub, quite a decent one as well. And I was playing it very carefully, Anyway, Dick, come up and he said, look, he said, Clive, he said, you've only got a minute before the whistle goes, and unless it's in the net, in the rules, is that they don't count, so it had to be in the net. Anyway, so I'm playing this fish very gingerly, because I'm only on a small hook, and I think a single caster at the time. Anyway, Dick said, I'll count you down if you like. I said, okay, that'd be great. So anyway, he counted down. He said, right, look at the watch now. You probably got about 20 seconds. I said, okay. So he said, I'll count you down. So he counted loud, shout down the bank, 20, 19, 18, 17. So anyway, I'm going like this now, and he's counting down, it's 5, 4, and it's like, and the chub, I can see it, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a good pound and a half here. I got to get in the net now. He said, 2, 1, he said, you got to go for it, Clive, otherwise the whistle. So I went like that, and the bloody thing come off. I was gutted. And the worst thing, there was at least another 20 seconds went before the whistle all out blew. So you never know. Those few seconds, I could have probably got him in. And Dick Legfair do some after. He did apologise, but no, he done his best for me. He wanted. I'm sure if none of his lads were doing any good, I'm sure he would have liked somebody from the UK to have done well. And anyway, that's what basically happened. And I was runner up. So that's the story. And as Tom said, I was about 3 from the end, which was good anyway, because the guys below me won fishing wagglers anyway, so I had the advantage of drawing any fish up from them. So right, I am Matt just said hello. Mick Elton, afternoon Mick. Going fish. I will be going fishing a bit later for a few hours. My wife Rachel said she hated fishing because it's so boring. Yeah, okay. She's been going with me, and our 2 daughters, Kira and Paige, aged 10 and 4, they're all hooked now, and they are pestering me to take them, me each time. Oh, well, there you are. I mean, look, Mick, that's fantastic, because, I've got a lad now, he's 18, and I took him when he was a young lad, very young, and unfortunately didn't take to it, so, which is a shame, really. But at least you've got your, as I say, that you got your lot, taking an interest, and I envy you really a bit for that, because I think Trevor Chalk, he got his lad into fishing, and his lad's taking it like a duck to water. In fact, I think he came third in a competition this week, and Trevor winning, and he was third, so it was fantastic. Anyway, so that's the story of the world champs there when I got the silver medal, and as I say, and it was thanks to Tom that he came on, which is fantastic. Now, this week's guest coming up. Now, unfortunately, I got a bit of bad news, because Wednesday, Nick Speed was going to come on, and he was going to answer some questions and talk about his life story. Unfortunately, he messaged me earlier to say that he can't make it because he's got a toothache, and he's not up to it. So I hope you get well soon, Nick, and as I say, when you're ready, then please, you're welcome to come back and do a question and answers. Now, I got a substitute. I got, you'll probably all know Des Taylor. Now, Des isn't a match angler, but he runs his own vlog, and I asked him, would he step in, and he said he would, so that's great. So anyway, let me tell you the format of this week. Now, tonight, you all probably know, Andy May is coming on. Now, Andy, in my eyes, he's one of a really nice guy, because he's always laughed, always joking, and nothing seems serious. Him and Jamie Hughes, when they do their little videos together, if you want for Andy, I'm sure they'd be quite boring, those videos, but he's great. So he's going to come on tonight, and so all you commercial lads who want a little knowledge on, if you like, shallow fishing, they call it, not shallow, but shallow fishing. He's very good at that, and as I say, hopefully he'll answer some of your questions. Now, then tomorrow I've got another commercial angler, Andy Kinder. Now, Andy Kinder is a friend of Tommy Pickering's, and he's done very, very well on commercials. So he's kindly offered to come on. Now, that's Tuesday. That's at 2:30. in the afternoon, and then hopefully I'll do a rerun later in the in the day then, in the evening for the guys who miss it during the day. Because these lockdown, if you like, videos or these guest speakers are meant for the guys who still stay at home. Of course, some who work, or out in the day can always catch up, later on in the evening then. Anyway, so as I said, then Wednesday, instead of Nick Speak coming on, then Des Taylor will be on. Now, it'll be interesting because sometimes we can learn off specimen anglers like they've learned off us. I'll give you a prime example. I don't know if anyone ever knew a guy named Giles Cochran. Well, Giles Cochran, a Welsh angler, international, also fished in the World Championships. He took to commercial fishing and he done exceptionally well. In fact, he used to write in the magazines. He used to fish dockload quite a lot in the Midlands, and he came up with a method of a boat rig. In other words, straight lead, a couple of inches, and he just catching these carp and hooking themselves, and that was based on the theory of a lot of these commercial carp anglers, specimen anglers who use these boat rigs. And it's worked out well, and he's wrote articles about it. So I know that we can learn off the, if you like, specimen anglers. So, as I say, Des will be on, so you never know. Any questions, you can ask him, and he might put you right. I don't know if Des has actually ever fished any matches. I think I remember him once doing something with somebody. I can't remember, but I'll ask him tomorrow when he's on anyway, and perhaps he can tell us. And no, that's Wednesday, sorry. Perhaps he can tell us. You never know, might even convert him to match fishing. Now Thursday, I'm still waiting for a response off a couple of people I've asked. So Thursday at the moment is vacant. So anybody got any suggestions? Then please, message me, or perhaps we can, I can, get them on. Most people I've asked said they would come on. By the way. There's a couple who haven't, but majority of them have said yes, they're more than happy. And I've got a string of, high-profile anglers prepared to come on soon in the next week or two. So that's fantastic. So great. Now Friday, I'm looking forward to Friday because Friday, Michael, got to pronounce this now. Michael Bultwalder, I think that's it, I'm sure. I'm sure somebody will put me right. But Michael, I've known Michael, for a while. I've talked to him, and I remember him telling me that his mother used to buy my videos when he was a youngster. He used to watch them all the time, So you never know. I might have had an influence in his match fishing career. But he went on, and he's an Irish international angler. And I was talking to him that he's a bit gutted that, of course, the World Championships won't be going ahead this year because of the, the virus. So anyway, so that'll be interesting. So as I say, there's a lot of fishing in the island. So any questions, as I say, come back Friday, and that should be in the afternoon at 2:30. Okay, let's have a look. Somebody said get Tony Rickson on. Okay, Tony, Matt Drinkwater says that. Yeah, I might do that. Russell Millwell, he's an old mate of mine. Michael Quirk, Roger Wakeshaw, Kevin Nichols, Seawalker, that's the Seawall. As I say, so that's the format for next week. As I said, and big thanks. In fact, what I might do a rerun of a few of the videos, because if you have missed any of them, I do try to save them on YouTube, so people can always go back, if they want to catch up on any, especially like with Tom and, and a few others. Howard's an interested one as well. And of course, you've got the trilogy, 3 videos that Colin Perry put together. But his days of one thing that sticks in my mind is when he was in the mud. He was fishing and he tried to get out and he left his wellies in the mud. He says he thinks they're still there now, like 30, 40 years later. He should be so lucky. So anyway, right, I'm hoping to get Bob. Bob said he'll come on again. Oh, also, I'll tell you who Dean Barlow also said he'll come back on. So, yeah, they've all said, they've all come back on again. As I said, any suggestions, give me a message or leave them on the on this vlog, on this podcast, and then I'll try my best to get them in. So as I say, what's that now? I've been on here for about 40 minutes. I won't stay on here that much longer, but as I say, this is a little bit of an update. There was a competition I was running, by the way, on the gold medal ground bait site, which I put a link to the Matchfhing group, because anyone who wants to join that the gold medal ground bait group can, just pop over and join. But I run the competition there, and it was guess the biggest weight of the fish. Now, I was doing these competitions back last year, and they were quite successful. I was like find the float competition. There was guess the weight and guess the amount of bleak in a bag I caught once. That was a bit of a conundrum because I lost count when I was catching them, but I guessed anyway. I guessed by the amount of fish to the amount of pounds that I had in the net. So as I said, I'll be running a few more of those competitions, and you're more than welcome, to come over to the to that Facebook page and join. So there you are. So I don't see any questions. Let's have a look. As I said, there are a few people I've asked, and a couple of you lads have suggested a few people. So as I said, it's a shame I couldn't get Dave Harrell on here, because Dave said he's too busy and he's going to do one his own, so good luck to him. Just one thing, Timothy Ford, I don't know if anyone ever saw Timothy's vlog this week, or last week I should say. Now, I've known Tim for quite a while, and Tim, in fact, he's always in the frame, and it was interesting to listen to his story where he started, running a bank for a year or two before he actually decided to enter himself into the team. And when he did, he was like one of their best anglers. And now it was quite interesting. Now, I didn't know this, but Tim has won what we call the Poppy match. Now, this is run by Ray Baisley. I'm hoping to get Ray back on you, by the way. Now, Ray Baisley, he was I'm a bit of problems with this phone. When we done a test run, it was great. Everything was coming through live. But when he went live, somehow he didn't press the right buttons. But I've had a few people say, yeah, like Ray to come back on. But as I say, Timmy Ford, now it was quite surprising. He from adversity, from having cancer and coming back to where he is now, is tremendous over the last 10 years. And now it was surprising. I didn't realise that he'd actually won this Poppy match. And bear in mind, this is like a couple of hundred pegger. He's run it 5 times. I think he's run it a couple of times on a trot. So what an achievement. So, those who didn't know Timmy Ford last week, I might even get Timmy to come back on and maybe give a little bit of a rundown on it, Russell Graves, just from Thailand, has just come on. Hi, Russell. I'm hoping to get one of the lads as well from Thailand, one of the top match anglers. I don't know if people know the story, but I went to Thailand about 4 or 5 years ago, and I only went there for a holiday, and ended up getting a bit bored after the first week or two. And then I went round this fisheries, and I bumped into an angler who I knew his dad more than anything. I used to fish matches against down in the West Country. Anyway, John Harvey is the guy I'm talking about, and John, keen angler himself, and he said he tried running matches himself in Thailand. Well, not really matches, but sort of, I'll catch the bigger, the biggest fish sort of competition. But anyway, we ended up, me and him, fishing head to head a couple of times, and then we got a few people to join us in the end. They now got a little circuit going of match anglers over in Thailand, and that would be quite interesting to see how they do it, because in some cases they can't put the fish in and keep nets, so they have to weigh them individually, as they go along through the match. So that'd be quite interesting. And a lot of the methods are very similar to what we use over here. So again, there's 1 or 2 methods that they use that we don't, that might help us in our fishing. So as I said, that is definitely something I think be worth pursuing if I can get John Harvey on you. So if you're listening, John, I'll be sending you a message soon. Okay, all right then. That's about it now. See, there's a few more coming on, but as I say, this is just a short one, just an update of how the group is going, and as I say, if there's any improvements as far as the group is concerned, please let me know. I've been getting a lot of carp anglers coming on, and most of them I will allow, but there's one or two for some reason they seem to upset the apple cart. They don't like the way that I suppose that we run things. But I've got to mention as well, Ricky. I don't even know Ricky, but he was a contributor on you a couple of weeks ago, and he runs his own match fishing group, or his own fishing group called Master Class or something. Yeah, but he sent this information about this lake in the Midlands that's being that all the fish were dying. I don't know if you've seen it on you, but I was so upset by it. I actually sent a message to the which I thought were the owners of the fishery, this yacht club, but I had a message back that said nothing to do with them. In other words, they're sweeping under the carpet, and they said I suggest I contact their local council. Well, as I say, I don't live there locally. If I did, I'd certainly be round knocking their doors. So anyway. Right, Russell, please, you need sea gear for Thailand. Yeah, you do need sea gear for Thailand. You need heavy gear. But saying that, Russell, I mean, when I went there, I actually just took a couple of telescopic rods, and I tell you, I had great fun. All right, it took me maybe half hour to land a 30-pound Siamese carp, but it was great fun, because some of these rods that they use in Thailand, they haven't got the fish haven't got a chance with them. When they're using 100-pound braid and big stiff boat rods to land these fish, and it's ridiculous, really. I mean, I enjoy more when I fish them with a lighter rod. So anyway, but each for its own, Russell, as you say. Okay, right. Steve Pierpoint, he just joined. All right, Steve. I've just booked in to the float only this year, so hopefully I'll see you up there. That's if we can get out of Wales. I might have to go through the back door, I think. But I'm looking forward to that. Good matches, the float only matches on the River Severn. I fished half a match. I didn't fish all of them because I was booked to go back to Thailand because I don't know if you all know, but I got married in Thailand and had a little baby. So they're over there. They're still over there now, so I'm hoping to go back at the end of this year. But so I'm hoping, as I said, I can fish all of them this year, all the float-only matches. The year previously, it was a very good series league. In fact, I managed to scrape into 10th place and had 200 quid for it, so I was quite happy with that. And of course, fishing against a lot of local anglers who know every swim like the back of their hand, and they're all class anglers. So I was very proud of the fact I made the top 10. So yeah, so I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you there, Steve. And I know you're always up there. You're always in the top half a dozen or in the top frame. Okay. Okay, I think, as I say, I think I'll call it a day now. Please come back tonight. See Andy May. I've got a couple of questions for him as well, so that'll be interesting. Excuse me a minute. Hello. Sorry, Nopret from Thailand just phoning me now, just to say hi, baby. I'm on the phone at the moment. Not on the phone. I'm on a live podcast. Look. Say hello. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
You're good, Steve. I'll phone you back in a minute then. Okay.
yeah.
All right, bye. All right, lad, sorry about that, but anyway, I'm just to show you everything's live. Everything happens from you. So there we are. Oh, Gary Etheridge just joined. Hi, Gary. I'll get you back on again soon, because I've had a few people said they'd love to see you back on here. So, you know, Keith Melly, hi Keith, Nigel, as I say, hopefully, as I say, you all come back then later tonight and see Andy May. I'm sure you got some great stories, and I'm sure that you know, it'll be very, very interesting in what he has to say. As I say, he's one of my favourites. Okay, I better go, because she's just wants to say good night to me. So, all the best, and thanks for tuning in. And as I say, keep in touch, and we'll keep these. You know, if you still want me to keep these guest speakers coming on, then please, you know, encourage me by saying yes. Otherwise, I'll start to you know, loosen them up a bit. Okay, all the best then.